Welcome back to the Changing Earth podcast with author Sarah F. Hathaway and co-host Chen Gibson, blending survival fiction and fact to bring you entertaining education that will help you dream, survive, and thrive. And now, here's your host, Sarah F. Hathaway and Chen Gibson.
Hello, and welcome back to the Changing Earth podcast. This is episode number 348. And it is Mother's Day, so I'm going solo on Mother's Day, and we won't be live today. We're just putting out a show so that I can stay in touch with all of you and do our Changing Earth news and our Changing Earth thing. So Chin Man's busy, and so I decided to just run the show today and give you a bunch of good news. First item on the list is we finally have dates picked for the binge show and when season 2 of the Changing Earth audio drama will officially start being released. So everybody mark your calendars. On July 3rd, we're going to have the binge day live on Prepper Broadcasting Network. If you're not over there yet, you need to get over there. You need to get signed up for the live chat, so that you can be a part of that, because we're going to be giving away some goodies in the live chat during that show. So I'd love to see you guys all over there. We'll be playing the episodes and chatting it up. I'll have some of the performers come back on. And of course, anybody from PBN, stopping by, saying hi. And it's going to be a fun day. So mark your calendars. That is July 3rd, the day before our Independence Day. So that's kind of fitting as well. And then on July 10th, we're going to go ahead and release season 2 of the Changing Earth audio drama. Guys, I've been working really, really hard on this for really over a year now. And it is coming out really cool. Very proud of the work, and all of my volunteer performers did such a great job. And I can't wait to introduce you to season 2. So I'm very, very excited about that. All right, so today we're still on our review of Little House in the Big Woods, and today summer is going on in Little House in the Big Woods land. And Laura really talks about, interfacing with other community members. More people would stop by, the different people they would meet. They did a very interesting explanation of cheese making and how they would need to slaughter a calf to do that. One that had not had anything else besides mama milk. So this is a young calf that they need to slaughter to get part of the stomach to go ahead and make cheese, and then they would just slaughter one and then share that between households. So really cool. If I knew more about making cheese, I would probably be doing a show on that. I'll definitely try and get a cheese maker in here because I love cheese. And that was one of the things I was thinking about the other day. Is I eat so much cheese. What would I do without cheese? How would I replace that in my life? So just an interesting thought there. And then Pa also finds a honey tree, which is really cool. We've had these in my yard when we lived on the acreage out there in Northern California. Big trees just packed with bees and honey. And what a great find for a household to find. You get all this free honey. We do a lot of raising domesticated bees now. Well, I guess, not domesticated bees, but in the bee houses. And Rick Austin does some really neat presentations on the new types of bee houses that he's using that are a little bit more natural to the bee and a little bit more, just bee friendly. I always try in my gardens to include flowers and things like that because bees are what pollinate your plants, what help you grow really healthy plants. So although I'm not really into raising my own bees, I'm not really crazy about them, I definitely think about them and have a place for them in my garden. It's really one of the only reasons why I would grow flowers is to either help insects or hinder insects. So that's really the extent of my flower gardening. Otherwise, you might as well plant an edible landscape because if you're going to plant it, you're going to water it, you're going to take care of it, whatever, you might as well be able to eat it. All right, so today I wanted to, take it easy on myself a little bit because it's Mother's Day and, still bringing it to you, still doing that thing. And I wanted to talk about staying cool in the heat after an SHTF situation. So this is kind of funny. When we were back in California, my husband was like, okay, Mrs., stuff hits the fan. How do we stay cool if everything, kind of collapses and we have to deal with that? And, it gets hot as all heck in the Sacramento region. Also, our place here in Texas gets pretty darn warm as well. However, in Texas, we have the ability to actually run our air conditioning because we can afford to do that. Whereas in California, is a challenging situation, always fighting that power bill. So we thought a lot about how to keep cool back there naturally without having to run that air conditioning too much. One of the things that we found was a great addition, not too expensive, is one of those above ground pools. You can buy them for about $1,000 on Amazon these days. And it's a great spot to be able to cool off when you need to in the summer, but also it is a great water storage area. I mean, you can take that water, you can filter it, you can do whatever. The only precaution I have against that this year is that from what I've heard, because of the plant in Louisiana, we're going to be looking at some severe chlorine shortages. So I'm not sure if they make those types of pools in a saltwater style, but it's definitely something worth thinking about because if we're having chlorine shortages, that's going to get more expensive, and everything's getting too expensive these days. We also had a lot of overhangs that kept our deck area cooler. And then we would find ways to really be able to open up the house and stop the insects. So they sell a lot of really cool netting on Amazon that comes in a square or whatever. And we just cut one side out and fit it to the doorway. And that way we could open up the house and really let that breeze rip through. It's a little bit more challenging in the south and the more humid areas because when you let that humidity in, it changes the whole temperature of the area. So in California, that was a win. I'm not sure how effective that would be out here, though. Nighttime air is still going to cool down, but again, when you're fighting humidity, you don't have like that. It was a very dry air there in California, so it's a difference between the two regions. A lot of the high ceilings in that house really helped out. We have high ceilings here, so that helps out. Fans, I mean, if you can run the fans, run the fans. I've seen a lot of cool ideas lately on Pinterest where they put frozen water jugs behind the fan and then it's blowing that cool air. A great way to cool down a house, cool down an area. If you can still make that kind of thing and you can still do that kind of thing, well, why the heck not? Also here, like our upstairs gets much hotter, but if you turn the air conditioner down that much, not only are you pumping all that energy, but the downstairs freezing. So little tricks like that really help to cool down like rooms that might be hotter than other rooms. My husband has always been a big fan of just taking a wet towel or a damp towel and just draping it over your head. Something like that. The moisture helps cool things down. And in fact, hydration is one of the keys to staying cool because it keeps your body healthy. So not just drinking water, but eating plenty of items like fruit or especially melon. Very hydrating for the body and a great way to stay hydrated without getting that water gut that you get when you're just drinking too much water. So those are some of the things that we do. And I was curious, like what I could find out on the internet, always cruising around, trying new ideas. And without new ideas, we don't grow. So what a great tool to access. And I found this site called greatest.com. And they had some good solutions for nighttime heat. They suggest using lightweight cotton sheets. We always, trade out our flannels for the cotton in the summer. It's just a lot nicer. You can get like the Egyptian high count, thread count, to keep you nice and soft and fluffy. You can use a damp towel or sheet as a blanket. So I don't know if I'd want to do that unless I had a mattress cover on my mattress that wasn't going to allow that moisture to hit it. That's one of the things that just destroys your mattress. So you should probably have that kind of mattress cover anyway. And if you have that going on, yeah, definitely you could, go a lot bigger than just doing a damp washcloth across your head. You could literally have, a whole towel or blanket, something like that. You can go nude or wear loose fitting cotton jammies. So I know a lot of husbands are like, yeah, this is a great idea. But hold on a second. Another tip was to sleep alone or in a big bed with ample space to spread out. The cuddling's got to wait for cooler weather. They also suggest drinking water before bed, again, to make sure you're properly hydrated. Cooling off in water or at least putting your feet in it was another suggestion. So like taking a shower in cool water before you get into bed, and that way it's nice and your temperature's down. It's been literally pushed down by that cold water. Get low, heat rises. So if you have, bedrooms that are upstairs and it's too hot up there, then come on down and sleep downstairs, do some camping out and things like that, or go for the fan idea where you have the water jugs that are frozen. Try to find other ways to cool that down. You can hang wet sheets in open windows. So this is a really good grid down suggestion in my opinion. You're going to need some way to really, really cool that down. And in high humidity areas, this one actually makes a little bit more sense to me. So you can literally hang those sheets right in front of your window. That way when the air is blowing through, it's cooling down on the way in. Don't cook indoors or consider sleeping outside altogether. So that's great if you don't have the bug fest that we have going on down here in Texas. Or, some of the other states I know growing up in Michigan, man, you would have been eaten alive by the mosquitoes. So obviously you're going to need some kind of a netting situation to make that happen, or else you're going to be just mauled by all the bugs. And then a straw or a bamboo mat was suggested because sometimes mattresses are really hot to sleep on. Our, traditional idea of a mattress here in America are really hot to sleep on. So if you could sleep on a straw or bamboo mat, this actually helps keep your body cooler. HappyPreppers.com also had some notable suggestions in one of their articles. You can DIY a swamp cooler. Yes, it's going to take power, but it's still fun to do your own projects, and if you have solar hookup or anything like that, backup generators, these kind of things, you can actually make your own swamp cooler. Using blackout curtains was another good tip. Utilizing outdoor awnings or planting shade trees is a good idea. That's one of the things we're going to do here. We have sun that just comes straight in our front window, so we're going to do some of that. If you're in a high wildfire area, which are becoming broader and broader, that's a risky thing to do because, you have trees by your house. However, they're really nice for shading off. Utilizing dampened bandanas, wrist wraps, or having your own wet t-shirt contest was another suggestion. Uh-oh, the guys are all cheering out there again. Yeah, honey, it's a great idea to cool you down. You can use a mister to dampen yourself. They have those little fan ones that when you spray them, they got the battery fan. I mean, that helps. And just make sure, again, you're staying hydrated. It's most important. Now that I found all these solutions to the problem, I was kind of still wondering, how did our ancestors used to stay cool? How did they do it back then without all of these new fandangled stuff, swamp coolers? And so I was curious, and I found an answer at Aristair.com. It's Aristair.com. And they had some fun info on how our ancient ancestors used to beat the heat. The cave dwellers were the first to utilize geothermal technology. It's a great idea. They dug caves, they dug burrows, and it would protect them from the summer heat. They would bury their food supplies and things like that and use the earth to actually keep their items cold. Egyptians used to hang wet reeds in front of their windows to cool their homes. The Chinese created the fan. The Victorians needed some powerful cooling technology for all of that stuff that they used to wear. So they built very high ceilings. That's where our Victorian homes with the very high ceilings come from. And they had the covered porches and then large recessed windows so that they had good cross ventilation in those houses. So in the more recent past, we've figured out how to take advantages of natural airflow. And building these structures in the right areas was really key to keeping the breeze in the house and everything on point. One of the books that I really lean on, the Good Housekeeping book from back in the day. Oh my gosh, I'm probably slaughtering the name. But I love that book, and it tells you like how to put your homestead, how to put your house to maximize all those kind of airflows and shade and this and that and on the hill and whatnot. It's really interesting stuff. Going to bed damp after bathing was a norm, and sleeping in sheets that had been soaked in ice water. The attic fan was developed, and people used to take to balconies to escape hot homes. So they used to go out on their balconies a lot and that kind of thing. So staying cool in extreme heat is just as important as staying warm in extreme cold. Lots of people are developing really cool ideas that are smaller units that you can put in rooms. So there's lots of answers out there on how to stay cool in the heat. But I also suggest that, you don't get too complacent, reliant upon your air conditioning. You still go outside. You still get adapted to that weather, because you want your body to be adapted just in case you didn't have that air conditioning. And you always want to have ways that you could stay cool without your air conditioning pre-researched so that you can utilize those if you had to. All right, guys, I hope you have a great day. Give your mom a big hug or say a prayer to her. And until next time, remember, dream, survive, thrive.